Hi everyone, welcome in. I am working on my bus again. There were some changes I wanted to make where it was easier to go back a few versions um, and kind of go from there versus trying to adjust what I had. Because one of the things with all the modifiers applied, there's quite a lot more points to adjust on this, so it was definitely the better idea to go back a bit where I've only got a few points before all the modifiers are applied to get stuff how I want it. And honestly, not far off how I want the basic body looking. I was working on the lights a little bit back here, and I was considering getting rid of a couple of these sort of lights on the side just to reduce the overall amount of points that I've got, because these here are a separate object which were made from the body, which I'll show you how I do that. So in this case, what we'll do is, just in a second after I remind myself why I've got this situation back here with the, well, that effectively, it's a little bit strange. Don't quite get it. It's something to do with the floor, the way it connects. But essentially, I think it's to do with how many points we have up here. One of these, these edges. One of these edges goes down to here, and the other one is this edge here. But I'm just wondering, can we bring this forward ever so slightly? Or maybe everything but that point, perhaps. Maybe everything but those points. Potentially. Potentially not. No. Okay. That is interesting. I'm just trying to remember, honestly, how I got to having all of these, and I wonder if it's something to do with adding a point down here. Yeah, that's exactly it. So if I dissolve that temporarily, so even though this is now flat, overall it is better. It's kind of better when it wasn't there because of what's been added in here. But we'll compare it a few times just to see. Now I think I will put it back the way it was. Just looking at this back edge here, maybe want to adjust how straight that is. It should probably be lower down this point, or these 3 points. Or maybe let's bring this first one down, second one down, and the third one down. Yeah, I'm happier with that. Yeah, just gonna play around a bit here just to see what I can do. I mean, but I suspect if I go back to what I was doing originally, I'll separate this piece and that will allow me to get rid of a few points. Yeah, so we hide that temporarily, and well, we can now add this back in. Dissolve these edges. And actually I think we can probably dissolve this edges as well, because that was for the lights. And this one maybe not. It's linked to these lights here. Okay, so potentially I can play around with one of these edges now to kind of increase the distance between them. So I'm just going to keep double tapping G until I'm happy with where they are. And that essentially what that does is allow me to slide these along the edge. The vertices, I mean, along the edge. And I might even be able to do two at a time. Oh, I can, that's good. Ah, well, I can do three at a time, that is the question. Well, my camera was upside down then, so that was a little bit disconcerting. Okay, most of that I can move, so we'll deselect that point there, because that appears to be the tricky one to try and move. So I don't quite get, maybe looking at X-ray could help me here. Is effective, that's it's effective. There's some additional points in here which are potentially causing us a bit of an issue. Let's see if we can work those out. Potentially this is sort of okay as it is, I think. Not sure why the floor in here is raised exactly. I can delete these faces and find out though. Just a couple of them. Yeah, for whatever reason, the floor is raised, so I'm gonna attempt to get rid of the raised floor. And have it line up more with how it is over here. There are some points here which aren't merged together, so that's a little interesting. So yeah, I suppose I could. There's a few ways I could do this, and this is potentially doing it the hard way, but sort of deliberately select 4 points and add in additional points to make the additional connections. Oh yeah, I can see where I went wrong here. I think I connect, because this back bit here is raised, I connected from there, not there, so, oh sorry, I connected from here and not here. Yeah, and that's part of the problem with the way I'm doing it. Now another way would be to include all of them and then use the knife tool to add in all the points. Or do this maybe. We'll worry about that point in a second. We can fix that reasonably easily, I would say. Let's get rid of this edge. So the only question is, can I get rid of this edge here? I'm not sure. Maybe not. Okay. Let's try doing this area over here. Can I not? I'm just thinking, can I not connect from here to here? Apparently not. Okay, that's interesting. Not sure. I didn't select both points then. I think a slight mistake I've had in something else here, which is part of the problem. So let's try dissolving that edge for now. We'll delete this face. Face. That's what I meant to click. We'll merge those two vertices together. Do that. And that. there. And yeah, to be fair, okay, I see. So I wonder now if I select the rest of these points, will they slide along cleanly, kind of thing? Don't know. We'll find out. And they do reasonably well, so we'll try and line these up with here. I won't turn snapping on, I'll just do that. That's better than it was, so yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, the reason there's a sharp edge here is it's intentional. I turned on the vertex crease for this edge, or the edge crease. Admittedly, another way of doing that is make it a sharp edge. If I temporarily got rid of this crease here and did that, you see it's smooth now, but equally if I do that, I think that only applies when I do shade smooth, as it were. So yeah, I mean that would more be the case if I was to do a turn off subdivision and do the shade smooth, you know, and then I would set these as hard edges. Which, let's try that for a second, because we can quite easily put this edge back as what's it called? As sharp again. Or crease, sorry. And then we'll actually mark it sharp this time. And we'll pretend we have the automatic smoothing. Oh yeah, that doesn't look too bad actually. There are some areas where the shading isn't great, because like here, but it's not terrible. I just have a slight preference towards the subdivision, how that looks for a kind of beginner like me. But I mean, some of the ways you could fix shading like that is with like insetting edges and that kind of thing. Be like a tiny inset, and that kind of helps. But also just adjusting where the smoothness shall be, as it were. So yeah, this what you would honestly consider to be, you know, something relatively low poly. But anyway, I'm going to undo those changes. See if I can get back far enough to where that was. I can't. So I'll clear sharp. And we'll do the edge crease. And then we'll put that subdivision modifier back. To be fair, whether I want to bring this edge out at all, I potentially do a bit. And these are just kind of final details, I guess, before I apply, well, mainly the mirror modifier. I just want to make sure I'm happy with the most of the shape before we start, I guess, messing around with all the body, although the body on this side needs to be changed a bit because the doors on that side are in a different place. So yeah, that's fun. I'm just curious here why I need this particular edge. If I dissolve that temporarily. Oh, I guess it was for that reason. Which I guess is one of the things that isn't so great about this modifier, is the fact that you have to add in a lot of edges and stuff. I mean, a potentially preferable method would be to kind of keep the body as it is. Use the shade smooth modifier and use the keep sharp edges in places, for the main body, and then for stuff that's more high detailed like the wheels, these lights, I'd then separate them from the body and keep them with subdivision, which I think is what I'm actually going to do now with the rest of these lights, because the overall body here just has a slightly ridiculous amount of points for not a great reason. So yeah, I'm going to separate that, and I'm going to separate these as well, and we'll hide them temporarily like we did with the other one, the other light at the back, and we'll fill in these holes. Oh yeah, welcome in there, Ken. I know what you mean about those YouTube notifications. I just can't rely on them one bit. So it's kind of down to luck whether I catch someone live or not. Okay, now I should be able to get rid of a reasonable amount of these points. Or edges, I mean. Or some of them anyway, I just gotta remember which ones. Okay, just had to unhide those a sec to remind me. Oh, welcome in, Robert. Thanks for joining. Good to see you around. And watch me, well, do what I do with this thing. I'm currently trying to reduce the amount of edges I have in this model, so it's easier to work on. But yeah, that's sometimes easier said than done. But I'm hoping I can get rid of these 4 edges. Yeah, I think we can. So dissolve those. That already looks a fair bit cleaner. Oh yeah, that's there for the light, so that's fine. And that's there for the other bit of light, so that's fine. So it's really across here, I think. Try and... oh yeah, okay. So as I work on this more, I'm leaning towards not using this modifier and going on the main body and going with shade smooth. I just gotta fix some stuff if that's the case, but that's fine. It sounds begrudging, but it's you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, so we'll dissolve that edge. I'm just going to take part of this, so let's say to about here. Just see if I can, well, actually I probably need to do these two bits first. Try and do an edge slide on this, just to make it look a little bit neater. And then these three as well. Oh, and same on, well, all of these actually. So you can get a relatively straight line. I just muted the mic there for a sec. So I'm just wondering about this bit here, either with subdivision off or on. It's a little bit ropey. And potentially what I want to do is delete this bit of the body and do something clever with this bit first. So I'll try that. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I'll hide these lights though first, because they're kind of in the way. Suppose maybe we need to hide the inside bit as well. The floor. Okay, so I think I know partly why this is the way it is. It's partly because of this window here. I'm not... I think this extra point is to do with... I'm not sure what to do. Let's dissolve it and see. Yeah, I don't know why that was there. I guess it was to do with trying to make that look, this bit look better, but even with that there, it isn't great, so we'll dissolve that edge. I am thinking what's, the purpose of this face here, but it's a little confusing. Ah, that was its purpose. Okay. So something else to fix there. I kind of like to use the expression in Blender. If you know who Bob Ross is, he had a expression of happy little trees. But I like to think in Blender happy little squares, with 4 points. Everything's all good if you got the squares sorted. Let's add some faces back in. Okay, so this one could be the tricky part. It may be why it was wrong before. But I'm gonna try and cheat a tiny bit. Okay, I think there was an edge here before I got rid of that I should have kept. We'll let that in. We'll do that. Do that. Now you do some adjustments now to the inside edge. Ever so slightly. Bring it over like that. That actually looks a bit better. So that's good. Potentially either something similar this side or yeah, something. Okay, so I see why that edge was there now. So we could still delete some faces here and do, instead of having stuff kind of going up but across, and see if that works any better. So kind of the idea would be, just trying to think. Yes, this needs to go this way a bit. Yeah, much better. So now we just got to work out how to fill that facing. I'll unhide everything temporarily in that respect. And see if, well, I wonder if we could merge this here. And then, well, okay, it's a little bit interesting, but something like that. And something like that. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. And even if I turn that off, it kind of works. It still needs maybe a little adjustment, kind of. Just trying some stuff out here. Potentially, yeah, that might look a bit better. To bring this over a bit, bring that over. It's not a full-on square, but it kind of works. Yeah. I still need to adjust the angle of something. I think this just needs to come in ever so slightly. Yeah, that's kind of better. Oh, I've been going for 37 minutes already. It barely feels like 5 minutes has passed, which is how focused I get into this. So I'm still debating about subdivision or no subdivision. I think probably no subdivision, and instead using the shading is better. We can always bat it back in, kind of thing. But if we do shading smooth now, you know, it looks, everything appears a lot smoother, but we just have to work on some areas, and they're, what's it called, geometry, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm hitting the wrong key in some cases. O instead of I and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's a little bit strange. Yeah, I wonder if you just go back for a second. Add that back in. Yeah. Yeah, so I can't deny that the subdivision does help in some respects. And when you combine it with Shade Smooth, the model does look pretty nice. It's just that for the environment this gonna be in, the main body probably doesn't want to be what's it called, have too much detail, because it'd be quite tricky to get it the performance to be good. So we'll, once again, I'm set on my decision for now of getting rid of that, but we'll do shade flat for now to get rid of the auto smooth while we clear the crease in the body and then work out what edges we want. Work out what edges we want to be sharp. And admittedly, I don't think I have the bot set to do any quotes currently, which is interesting, because I probably meant to at some point, but I don't think like what I set up over on Twitch transfers to YouTube particularly well, or at all, so I guess I gotta do it twice. But that's just one of the pain points of multi streaming, as it were. So I'm just going to do some edge clean up here where I can, just so I'm reducing wear. We've got unnecessary geometry, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm still debating on this edge here. Sort of think going with Shade Smooth we could get rid of it, but yeah, I don't know. If we dissolve that and do smooth, okay, well, yeah, we'll definitely get rid of it because it doesn't look the best in that sense. Now, there's some stuff I could get rid of here. Meant to delete that face. And I mean, I'm just wondering why can't this whole edge, oops, why can't this whole edge be merged, as it were, is something I don't know without trying it. Okay, maybe we can't get rid of that. Instead, we got to do like a edge slide, perhaps, and then we'll do a merge by distance, and I think that got rid of them, which is cool. So yeah, still trying to work out where I'm happy with all my edges and stuff. or sorry, am I happy with where all the edges are before I apply the mirror modifier to start working on the other side, which we can restore the backup any time, but it's nice to get it right, I think, where you can. Interesting. It's weird. It looks. Oh, it's higher. It's too high. That's the problem. There we go. That's that sorted. And to be fair, these are something that I tried applying the smooth modifier to, and it seemed to cause a bit of a problem, but potentially because these are quite basic objects, I might do the subdivision on them. Try to anyway, and see how they look. And I've got to add in some more points so that they actually look okay. I'm going to say they look better as just squares, so let me turn that off. Same with this one, we'll shade that flat. And I'm just curious, if I bring all these points up, does this geometry get any nicer looking? And the answer is possibly not, but it's worth a try, I think. I suppose what I'm wondering is, could I delete a few faces here? Oops. And then join some stuff up. And potentially even this, now that we're not using subsurface modifiers, a few edges we can get rid of. Like this one, or these two. So we'll create this square here, and then we'll create some in there, and we'll okay, this is where the interesting bit comes in. If we add that in there and add 2 points to it, in essence, and I might have to do some lining up, but that's okay. Yeah, I do. But in theory we do have a slightly better set of edges, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, I always forget if there's an easy face you can create. You can just keep pressing F to do that. yeah, it's not too bad. Trying to work out what needs to come in and out. Potentially it's just these two need to come in slightly. Yeah. So that's okay, it's a bit better in that sense now. I'm happy with it. So let me just see about some other edges here. I think these edges down here can go on both sides. This edge here probably needs to stay for the window. This edge here can go. This one here as well can go actually. So a lot of these edges you put in for the subdivision modifier so that you have what's it called? It has more data it can work with. Because if I'll show you what would happen if I apply the subdivision modifier now. It actually doesn't look so bad in a way, which is interesting. So maybe what I'm saying doesn't apply as much. Maybe I actually know what I'm talking about, partly. But so I get rid of these edges here, here, here maybe, here, oops, here, here and here. So you apply it in now. What I was expecting to see was more like that, there, where you don't have an edge, an additional edge here, so it's trying to smooth from here to here, and it doesn't really work unless you put in another edge. So yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Anyway, that's fine. So yeah, gradually we are getting there. So I suppose just need to work out again where I want sharp edges before the shade smooth modifier does its thing, and I would guess that would be, well, if I get rid of this edge as well, that would be kind of here-ish, because kind of going off of the photo, there's effectively a sharp bit kind of here and here, and the bit where it rolls, so that's effectively what I'm trying to replicate, successfully or unsuccessfully, I guess. I know, yeah, along here at the top as well, I want that to be a sharp edge, so oops, Control E, and we'll mark those as the sharp edges, except for that little edge there. We'll do a Control E again and clear that sharp bit. Okay. Wonder if, yeah, this probably needs to come down, actually, thinking about it. Which I thought I'd done before, but apparently not. But we'll turn off the snapping for that. Okay, so just wondering about separating the lights up front as well. I think I will separate them. I just need to effectively work out how easy to, because that's part of the problem is as I'm doing the plus to select them or try and select the area, when I hit plus again it's selecting this whole area, which I don't really want, so I might have to do a bit of this. And there is circle select where you can, but I don't really like that, but try it again. Oops. If I do control plus there, and it seems to work okay. And now we can add back in some faces, which will, well, some of the edges of the faces won't be needed anymore, so we'll get rid of them. So we don't need those. Yeah, I don't think we need those. No, don't need those, or those edges, which is good, to be honest. But I just got to be careful back here that I select the continuing bit of the edges, I think. And that they go as far back as they're meant to, I guess. There we go. I can probably get rid of this edge too, to an extent, I think. Okay, so we'll put this back to subdivision modifier and put that to 2, and we'll essentially add some stuff back in. I could hide the main body temporarily while I do this, might make it easier. So we're adding a point there. Potentially this whole outer edge we could say, well, let's try it on this. It's a little better, but probably better to do it the other way, like this. That actually solves most of the thing, I think. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll unhide everything now. They've got some thickness as well, so that's good. Right, so I'm just deciding what I want to do next. I think the answer is, as it's been almost an hour, is I should take a quick break for a couple of minutes, and then I'll be back to continue this. So yeah, maybe do the same as well, don't know. But yeah, anyway, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, I be back. So let's continue with this. Not 100% certain what I'm going to do next. I think just more tidying up before I apply the mirror modifier. But I don't think we're far off doing that. I mean, I suppose I could separate the display part at the front here as well, but I'm not sure. I think it kind of is okay where it is, so yeah. Just gonna have a look at the photo again, and I mean the top bits there are not really a problem. The indents could be a little bit interesting. And really what I should have is to go off is some real pictures of this thing, but I don't know if this thing exactly exists, as it were, so yeah. Anyway, that's fine. We'll go with that as it is. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that I'll make a backup here. Oh yeah, these lights. I wanted to separate the lights. So I'll do C for circle select. Let's try this again. Gotta get into a better view to do that, which I can't currently get. So let me try this. C again. Try and make it a little bit smaller. The idea of this is just to do the control plus to be able to select the whole light area and effectively separate them, but that's still not really worked. I think is on some sides all points are selected, on the other not all are, so potentially a better way would just be selecting them manually like this. But not always you have to do it like this. Sometimes you get luckier. But there we go. And we'll do select, hide them temporarily, and make some faces. Yeah, I think on a couple of them there are some additional faces, so I'll try and delete them. Okay. Yeah, that trick works on this case. think I realised I was talking there and I was muted, but oh well. Oh dear. So, yeah, I think. Yeah, that in the middle works. Yeah, I think what I'll do, I'll create a copy of this and I'll rename it to something like Before Mirror, which will only make sense to me when I read it, but that's fine. So yeah, we'll apply that. And now we have the whole thing that we can play with. And essentially we need to make some of the differences on this side. We'll hide that a sec. Well, actually we'll hide these as well, because got a plan for them. So what I wanted to do was so I think this is the side I want to edit, and what I basically need to do is change this picture so I can basically move it up. Oops, G and Z. Snapping is on, possibly. That might be why that's not really working. See if I can line the bottom of the wheel up with the red line. It's pretty close. And then do a Control and M, which is the mirror, and see if we can flip it. Which has done that, so that's fine. And now see if we can line this up. Just about. Yeah, I would say just about lined up. Yeah, that's about lined up. So I suppose main differences here are a door, or there is a door. Here, there aren't any doors here, and the windows are a little different. So I'll do some easy stuff to start with. I'll delete these faces here. Oh, that's interesting that there's somehow I've ended up with a triangle there. So I have to fix that on both sides, I think. Let me slide this edge down. So again, I kind of feel like this is a situation the knife tool could fix, where if I can do that to there, I can then potentially delete all these faces, add in a edge here, and do that. Oops. And do that. Same thing on this side, effectively. Except might have to do it slightly differently, but well, I guess actually there's enough points here that we can create something that works. I mean, same with that side if we'd have thought about it. So potentially I could get rid of that edge. Oh, okay, I see. Just trying to see or remember how I did it on the other side. Okay, so we have the same problem effectively. We need to add in something here. And then do a K. Cut that and then that. Still not. It's still not right. I'm not quite there. So let me think about this. We also need something to go around here to connect this, so something like K, A. And that should work. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that this side as well. That still didn't work on that side, so again, something I did different. Okay, right, I see. Oops. I'll hover over that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So just thinking here a little bit. I suppose I'll turn X-ray on again. Well, we'll effectively delete a load of faces here, which my only concern is going to delete them on both sides, so I almost need to find a way to make the body transparent or kind of guess where I need to delete. Okay, so we'll do a bit of guessing here. And some people do this much easier in a way, and they have effectively a single face and then a texture they put on it, but I'd rather have the actual shape if I can get it. I think I almost need to hide this half of the body, so let me do this. That's got it. Okay, so come back here. And yeah, that's better for what we're doing. Oh yeah, I didn't get rid of the points for the lights on this side, which is... although they could prove useful. Potentially. I get rid of X-ray. Oh, I did keep them on this side. Oh yeah, because of this piece. Okay, that's fine. So we'll hide that, the one side again. Again doing X-ray, but Not quite sure what that line is, but here and there, but yeah, weird. I'll just mute the mic for a minute while I'm concentrating. So that's kind of got the shape of the door I wanted, so let's delete these few faces here. And I mean, this is where we start adding some in more edges, but it's not a big deal really. But we add an edge in there, and an edge in there, and we then do a bit of an edge slide with these 4 edges. See if we've got that shape kind of right. I think we have. This one, till these couple come over ever so slightly. And this one. Alright, no worries. Thanks, Ken. And thanks, yeah, for stopping by and supporting. Really appreciate it. Okay, there might have to be one small triangle here, potentially, unless we do something. Well, actually, no, that could be that's 4 points, so that can be a quad. Slightly oddly shaped one, but that's okay. We'll add in, potentially got to add in something else here to get this down here, unless we do some clever edge sliding here. Yeah, that could do it. Okay, so yeah, we'll we've got the door shape now. And then we can delete a few faces here. And we'd effectively need to join this up. But since that's quite a task at the moment, we can potentially get rid of some edges here that we don't need anymore. Okay, so some of these are needed because of to maintain shape, but I suspect these ones maybe not. No, okay. Because whatever edges we have here, we've got to add in here effectively. But yeah, we can start with one big face like that, and then add in points on here to get this to line up with over here. So I effectively want to do that. And then same for, oops, for these here. Potentially I can do merge by distance. Yeah, I think that worked. So yeah, the question is down here about how many of these points across are needed. Not so sure now. Potentially get rid of some of them. But maybe not all of them, as it were. Okay. Yeah, that's probably doable. We can work with this if we turn off X-ray for a bit. Although again, this side, there's probably some stuff here we could also delete. Right, do we really need this edge? Probably not. And it changes the shape ever so slightly, but not by much, I would say. Okay, we'll ignore those edges for now, and we'll just work on, well, if this can come down, oops, come down a bit. So we potentially just need one more edge here. And here, so yeah. I mean, yeah, hopefully, yeah, that should work. Cool, so we got that. And now I just gotta work out where I need the first pillar for the door. Which I'm wondering about sliding these edges over rather than creating new edges, but don't know how well that's going to work. Only one way to find out. Or even if we do this, but obviously select that whole thing. Yeah, the bit that doesn't look the best is the geometry, so I'm going to go to face mode and delete those faces. And I'm going to say we'll add in a couple of edges here and a couple of edges up here. And hopefully slide them over ever so slightly so they line up. We can adjust that in a minute. And I potentially, I think I will need to add in for the what's it called, window stuff, the angle this is at. I'll need to as it were, come in a bit, so that's fine. Potentially could do that and that maybe, but don't know. Just trying to work out where needs adjustment from the kind of the photograph. Okay, definitely that, and probably that as well. Okay, so some of it good, but the rest of it needs adjustment, perhaps. Okay, one more to adjust here. Yep. Go. Okay, I think that's fine now. Okay, bit more stuff that needs adjusting. Guess this edge here. And the actual body itself is okay, but oops. Okay, this could be fun. I mean, is it possible that this thing just isn't lined up right in the reference? It possibly is, so we might go with that for now. I mean, potentially the whole thing just needs to come over this way a bit on this side. But don't know how easy that will be to achieve. Maybe if I select this mode. That might have done it. Potentially. Turn that off for now. Yeah, so we'll delete these, all these window frames actually, and we'll get them at the right angle when we're finished with them. Is my thinking, because pretty much none of them actually line up, because the windows this side are different to the other side. Just thinking I do need to add in some more edges on both sides, but it's fine. Turn off snapping for a sec, because that's can be good and also slightly painful. Still a non thingy here, quad that's got 1, 2, 3, 5 points. Okay. Well, maybe we just do something cheaty for now, like this. Okay, cool. That's fine, I think. Guess the bevel there is not really gonna work too well, so maybe it was better how it was, to be honest. In the sense of a triangle here kind of makes more sense. Potentially when we add in some more geometry we may see an opportunity for a fix, but for now, not really. Oh yeah, and then this bit's gotta be filled in, which is gonna be fun. Well, maybe only 2 more things down here and my plan will kind of work. Suppose the only thing is there's some stuff I need to get rid of down here, or just add in, because otherwise it's not going to quite fit. Okay, so back bit's actually kind of already correct, so one more thing to add in here. So we'll start to make a bit of a shape for this upright. Okay, and now it's just these across points we need to make. But let's take a step back and appreciate what we've done so far. Yeah. Oh, I'll just take a stretch here for a couple of minutes and decide on what to do next. Okay, we'll try adding in the across points for these window uprights. So just a case I think of using a bit of snapping to get the right sort of position potentially. So we'll enable that. Okay, and then we'll add some points in here, snap. The roof does end up with quite a lot of points because of this, but that's okay. I mean, if we separate the window frames entirely, we could get around that, but I think I'll probably not do that in this case. Interesting. Okay, so that's kind of got it. So I suppose probably some more like improvements just to geometry and stuff like that. And then you start working on bringing in other parts from the other model, which I'm happy to reuse, like the wheels, believe it or not. If Ken Stout was still here, he'd laugh at that. And windows, things like that, and doors. I mean, just to try the shade smooth currently, yeah. There's some points that need fettling still. But we probably want some marked sharp bits around here. And getting rid of these extra edges, and then effectively marking this as a sharp edge, and potentially what's behind it as a sharp edge as well. Oops. Oops. Daisy. Yeah, we probably want the stuff behind it. This edge marked sharp 2. Yeah, kind of leaves that alone then. And we could do a bit of a bevel potentially. It's effectively just finding pieces that don't look right and, well, the shading effectively, and sorting that out, which can often be sorted out by like insets and that sort of thing, little cheats to fix them, but we won't do too much of that at this point because we're probably going to, let's see, that's fixed by an immediate inset. Oh yeah, this in here, this edge we probably want to mark as a sharp edge. There's probably another face here that we can get rid of. If I bring that face that was there back, just wonder what. No, can I not go far enough to get that back? Maybe not. I mean, where does this face come from for one, and what's its purpose, I guess? Oh, right, okay. So this is part of the floor, effectively. So we, well, to be honest, again, why we've got on the floor areas where it's all raised, I don't know. But let's delete those faces, delete these faces. Gotta do the same on this side, I guess, but so yeah, something we could have potentially spotted if we'd have been looking for the what's it called thing well, before we had the mirror modifier off. But Okay. Let's see if I can connect this to over here somehow. So again, I think I connected something at the wrong height, and it's made things harder to deal with, but okay. So this probably needs to get merged with something, so maybe this. Okay, this effectively needs to be something else here for this to merge to, I think. That was potentially something I got rid of before, thinking I didn't need it, but oh well. So some of these things have consequences when you remove faces that you don't realise till later. Yeah, the reason I had that all deleted temporarily was so I could mark this edge in here as sharp. Just trying to decide what to do with this floor, and can't quite decide. I think I start off by doing that. Oh, whatever that's worth, that may work. And if I dissolve this here, I select these two. That could potentially work. And it only leaves something oddly shaped there, but kind of works. And if only I could mirror that to the other side. Okay, so yeah, just trying to think now where I want to be sharp edges and where I just in general things need a little bit of adjustment. Which I guess is kind of here, but yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad job that Shade Smooth does in this case. Not bad at all. And say various places we can add in bevels if we want, like here. I mean, you've got to be a little bit careful with that. In general, if you add in too much of a bevel or something like that. Believe that is the moment, or do a small bevel where we, well, sometimes I've tried applying a whole bevel modifier to the body, but that doesn't always work too well, you see. So that's it, off, on, off. But if you do 3 segments, and then you make it much smaller, then you do off, on, and it actually looks better in a weird sense. In a lot of spots anyway. But less smooth, so yeah, we won't do that at the moment. Oh, but look at the time. This might be a good place to finish up. So yeah, we made some decent progress today. We've got the mirror applied. I mean, both sides are kind of how we want them. So now it's really just subtle adjustments, as it were, to get the shading looking a bit better and stuff like that. So yeah. Oh, excuse me. But anyway, yeah, this has been fun. So thanks everyone who stuck around. I do appreciate it. Whoops. And yeah, until next time, bye for now.